What should we like? Break and play. Yay, everything's working. Oh, yeah. So I started doing, I don't think how I told you this. I started doing in the last bit of the horror Minecraft stuff I recorded. I was been reading from the Books of Blood, the Clive Barker book.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because basically
Oh, cool.
because the mods make it, well, not the mods, but the difficulty and everything that I've set up with this horror Minecraft thing is I can't sleep through the nights. And so usually I'm caught up in like a crow's nest above a village or above a forest or something, trying to like stay safely out of sight of the zombies as they're like all spawning below me and like clamoring for me if they get the slightest whiff of me. But I have to basically spend 10 minutes with them yelling in the background and waiting for the sunrise because it's pitch black without light out there. And so I read a book. I read the Books of Blood. I found a internet archive thing that lets me borrow a PDF scan of it for like an hour at a time. And I can just renew it as I go, but I've like made it so that it like comes up on screen while I'm reading it, so that like the whoever's watching, you just see like the Minecraft thing, and then it kind of superimposed in the center is the book open, and that's what I'm reading off of. So
That's pretty rad.
yeah, I've been having some fun doing that. I'll probably do more of that soon. Been setting things up to I can do this for other things in the future too. Whenever I'm playing a game with a bunch of waiting, be like, okay, cool. I have a whole. Oh, that's neat. I have a whole setup now for OBS to feature the book and the book cover and all that. Oh wait, ooh, what was that? Ooh.
I'm just playing with my spells. Sorry.
Speaking of Clive Barker, so I started listening to a new podcast this morning called Attack of the Queerwolf, which is a horror podcast.
Okay.
And one of the episodes I started with, well, the one I started with actually was all about Clive Barker and off about like Hellraiser and stuff. It was pretty good. And about how the Hell Priest / Pinhead is like the ultimate daddy dom or something. It was pretty funny. We started listening to their Tim Curry episode on the way home today. It was also very excellent, but not as topical, obviously. Oh, can I get a backpack slot? Nope. Wait.
Oh yeah, upgrades. How much money do I have? Well, I got a $1.5 million. I think I'll keep saving it for now.
Get a backpack upgrade.
Check our current quest.
Paladin Mike is certainly the most powerful man and writer. I should send him some tea.
Okay, we have. Oh, weird.
Oh. Damn it, I'm on fire. I was in the fucking blacksmith thing, of course. I was upgrading when I was running across the floor leaving there. Their fucking forge just shot a giant arc of fire out at me.
Are you gonna join our game though?
Huh?
You haven't joined. You're in your own thing.
What the fuck? Oh my god. I thought I had joined.
I was wondering, I'm like, I haven't seen you running around, and I'm looking at side quests and it shows you on a different side quest. I'm like, that's not right. That's usually what.
Okay.
So we were on. Oh shit! Hey, there you go. And we got so many side quests right now. I think we were finishing something with that Yanti woman, the Yanti goddess thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Sharpshooter on the wink of destruction. No.
There, now we're in the same spot. Oh yeah, I ended up watching that show we were talking about the other night, Cyber City 080808. I think that was you I was talking about.
Oh yeah? How was it?
That was good. Very strange. The animation style is something else, even for anime. Very interesting. Definitely some like top-notch cyberpunk too. Very, very grim and gritty and interesting high-tech ideas.
Sorry, what was this one called?
It's called Cyber City 0808. It's, I think, in the early 80s, I think. I don't know. I didn't really look at when it was made, but based on the art style, I'm going to say it had to have been like early 80s, late
Okay.
70s.
I'm just gonna write it down. Check it out.
Yeah, it's only 3 episodes, or I guess 3 movies. I'm not really sure how they quantify it, at least on the thing that I found.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a group of criminals who are in cyber jail get tapped by the police to go solve mysteries and basically be cyber cops, but with like exploding collars around their necks so they behave themselves, which they're not happy about.
It's really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a little older,
Yeah.
but it's definitely good.
I still haven't watched that the Edge Runners yet.
It's also good.
I have that downloaded and ready, queued up. Just haven't got to it. I keep binging Taskmaster instead.
Oh, that's right. You told me to watch that one. Oh, I gotta remember. I'm gonna write that down right now. Taskmaster. Ugh.
Yeah. Super fun. Any of the series are good.
Stuff falls to the side sometimes.
Dear Ectobert Swazowski,
Oh, what'd you find? Who found something?
Scroll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we can refine the same scroll. I think they regenerate.
Okay.
Yeah, though there will be... Oh, I don't see any bounties.
Besides, I can't
Pardon me?
Not after that
Okay.
incredible weekend we spent together at Schooner.
Okay, that's empty. Okay, so we got the right quest up. I can teleport us when we're ready. I think it's at the Sunfang Oasis. Sounds about right. And we seem to have a town portal open there, so do that. Oh yeah, fuck.
I'm ready whenever.
Yeah, I'm good to go whenever.
Cool, we're going. Yeah, so that Silent Hill transmission was today. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. I got high hopes. Silent Hill 2 is getting a remake.
That's sick.
Huh.
Yeah. Done to kind of make it updated and you know, make it all as realistic looking as possible. It's the same people who made The Medium. It was that Silent Hill like game where you had that, I think it featured like a split screen where you're playing the same character in 2 different worlds. I remember seeing a lot of footage of that.
Okay.
And one's like almost like a Silent Hill underworld and the other one's just like the normal world with the characters moving around in both. I don't know. It's a neat thing. Oh yeah, we got to go kill 3 different viziers.
Give me 2 seconds here. I'm just
Oh,
moving
sure. Sure.
my things around. I think I'm okay.
So yeah, that Silent Hill 2 thing is neat. It's going to be on the PS5 for the first year, and then after that, open up to Steam. So it will come to PC eventually.
Okay.
Which, guess what? There is. I told you before about somebody's working on a VR injector for universally work with Unreal Engine games.
Yeah.
So you can play all kinds of... Yeah, Silent Hill 2 Remake is being made in Unreal Engine, which means that theoretically, in a couple of years, you'll be able to play it in VR. Whether or not it's intended.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I want it.
Oh, yeah, I want to walk the streets of Silent Hill.
That sounds.
Oh, like...
Oh, I think we're going ahead. Sorry.
Oh.
Didn't mean to.
Here.
Okay.
Before we go fight the
I'm
Anus
ready to
Wizard or
murder.
whatever that is called over there.
Oh, is that one? Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good start. Why are my sound effects so quiet? What the hell? There we go. Ah! Who's going down? There you are. Stay near you. Oh.
I don't know why we're supposed to pick that up, but I picked it up.
So damn lucky I showed up. Because I'm the only one who can tell you how to fix this thing that you totally screwed up with your bumbling incompetence.
Oh yeah, it's from Witcher parody going on here.
He's actually kind of growing on me now.
You serious?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about that no-nonsense
Battles.
gruff demeanor. It's weirdly charming. I don't know why.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so which one first? This one. How about this one?
Okay, following you.
Yeah, so that's oh, and the Silent Hill 2 remake's also featuring one of the original designers as well as the original composer and sound designer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. Looking forward to that part of it. That gives me a little bit more hope than just like some random studio. Oh, wow. I'm going to go down. Oops. Okay, going to back up. Thank you. Oh, up. Thank you. Oh, we got it. Amazing. I don't think I picked up treasure from that last one dying either. Oops.
A gold thing. What's that?
Ooh, gold. Nice. What else do I have here? Yeah, I would suggest definitely, like, there's trailers out for all of these things that I'm talking about, so on YouTube already, so you can check them out. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 looks good. Looks good. Oh yeah, we haven't. This is all dark. Yeah, let's check it out. This is pretty.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Some idiots hidden their loot over there.
some idiots.
Oh wait, are we
Alright.
actually able to go in there? I thought that was just like behind there.
We're behind it.
Okay.
Yeah. Snowballing spectral talons. Okay. There's another game that's coming out that there was like nothing really shown about it, but it's called Townfall. Silent Hill Townfall. It premises slightly. Oh, we killing those things? All right.
I'm just shooting at him.
I mean, let's engage.
Might as well.
Yeah, something called Townfall, which seems to be like, oh, anchor. Whee! Come on. There's some like,
I love this. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, there's some dialogue lines in the vague ass trailer for this other game where it's like somebody talking about how, you know, how the town basically like haunts people who have like bad shit that they've done that they're guilty about or whatever. But then like alludes to this time it's a little different or it's under different terms. So
Management.
no, I think it's about the intent of entering Silent Hill is different. So the game might be I don't know, but people are speculating it might be a shooter or something like a little bit, or at least something a little bit more actiony where it's like, no, you're going into to like, I don't know, clear out Silent Hill or be more aggressive. Who knows?
It's Silent Hill, but you're the Doom guy. Rip it till it is done.
Yeah, I don't think quite like that, but I'm not sure. There was like really nothing to go off of. Okay. Al's up on the thing. Are we... I think we're just exploring the map at this point, right? That's what we're... taking the long way around to get to that last vizier.
For that.
What else? Oh yeah, there's a movie coming out. And it's from the director of the first movie.
Oh, that's
He's not the same guy who did the second or third,
okay.
but the guy who did the first one. And he's a huge fan of the franchise and loved playing them. And I don't know, I like the first movie.
Yeah.
And this one is going to be based off of Silent Hill 2. This will be James Sutherland's. Like it's all to converge basically to be published around the same time, right? 2023 is going to be the year of Silent Hill 2 again? I don't know. They seem to be doing a lot of stuff. There's like a bunch of merch that they showed that were all like, you know, giant statuettes and whatever that's on the store that people can buy. That was just a side thing, but it was all Silent Hill 2 focused. I guess that's the one people love the most, so makes sense.
It's classic.
It is very good. I've played that one a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Is everybody so excited for Chris Pratt's Mario?
Oh god, what a horrible casting choice. Everything else about that movie seems like it's good, but they had to cast Pratt as Mario, which makes no sense. Even if he wasn't a garbage
with the
human
Beast
being,
folk,
it'd still be
though.
a weird choice.
There's a whole subsection back here, but I think we should wait and finish this quest first.
And dig.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's head back. Let's head back towards where we're supposed to be going, because I feel like other side quests are going to take us into those sections, and we might as well get them. after. This is so pretty. Oh yeah, so there's more stuff. There's another thing coming out called Silent Hill Ascension. It's going to be partially made by Bad Robot Games, which is the gaming division of Bad Robot, which is interesting. But this is going to be... It sounds like it's going to be a live streamed... not in not as in like it's being you up? Okay. You're up. Sweet. So it sounds like it's going to be like this thing that people can tune into and watch together and help make decisions for the characters and that would affect the world.
Huh.
And it'll basically, it sounds like a mass choose your own adventure, like actually.
Whoa.
Of sorts. I don't know like how many key pivotal things they're going to have, but like or how far the branches go, but it sounds like it's going to be, so it's going to be a live action thing. It's not a game, but a live action thing that you can watch, but then you'll be able to choose things. And I don't know. And I think the live streaming portion of it is also a factor. Like it'll be playing and you'll have to tune in when it's playing along with everybody else or something. I don't know how that's going to work, but sounds ambitious, sounds interesting. A way for people to interact with the story. Fuck yeah. And then they say like, oh, it's going to be canon and stuff. I'm like, I don't care about that part. But being able to have like once, they said no resetting. It's just going to, this is only going to have like a once through. So it'll be the story that the audience shapes when it comes out. And that's it. That'll be the story. I think that's an interesting thing. I wonder how they're going to film it. I wonder like what order or how close to each other they're going to film it or to release. Like, do you put in all the production cost of like filming all the different branches, or do you only film ahead one or two choice at a time, and then you'll have to discard whole things you've created? It's interesting. So need more information, but it's supposed to be next year as well. Oops, wrong button. This button. It's already dead. Oh well. Massive overkill. I love it. And then there's only one last thing about the Silent Hill thing. There's another game coming out called Silent Hill, and then the letter F, as in Foxtrot. It's like a lowercase f. It looks like it takes place in 1960s Japan. It showed, and it's being written by somebody who was, I guess, really famous in Japan for their horror visual novel things. Like they're the most famous for that, and so they're doing the writing on it. And it from the visuals aesthetically, it depicts a lot of like, it's very different than Silent Hill, and then everything looks like the overgrowth of like flowery, flesh-like, tentacly, like really thin, like. I don't know how else to put it. Kind of like overtaking everything, kind of overgrowing on everything. A lot of flower theme, water theme, and it looked like the protagonist might be a schoolgirl. It's hard to tell. It's hard to say. But she had a big lead pipe and was running through some shit. And I was
well,
like,
if you like that.
Yeah. And it happens to be. I looked this up afterwards, but it's the same. The people making Silent Hill F is the same team that did the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes that have come out recently, which people really enjoyed. So, that's very promising. Badass. Right here. Yeah. Oh, still going. Still alive. Damn, he's dead. Love it. Love it. So yeah, that's all the Silent Hill stuff. It seems like, I think the whole Dead by Daylight thing and some of the other integrations that have happened recently might have been like, this is my speculation, them like testing the waters of like the popularity of Pyramid Head and like how much people want to see that stuff come back. And now it's like everything they can throw. They're like, yeah, we want to do it. We want to get as many teams working on this as possible. This is really pretty. Who wants to roll the die?
There's a chest over there.
Just over where? Oh, I see it. Oops. Okay.
Meh.
Some blue. I got some blue.
I got some closing if
I
that's
got
one I
nothing but
think.
greens.
It's a what? Sorry? What were we saying, Al?
I think I got some clothing with that one. And a new weapon, but it's not a bonk. I like bonk.
See that chest you were talking about?
Ooh, I found a gold necklace.
Oh, I don't want to keep going that way. That looks like the way the quest is. I will wait for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this really crazy legendary necklace that I could put on, but it's not for my class. It's not for any of us. It's the Clopbringer power, but I almost don't care. It's plus 21% fire damage. Cool, whatever. It's called Dragon Sacrificial Skeep of Strategy. And the main like cool ability it has is when health is below 50%, summon a sacrificial skeep. Cannot occur more than once every 30 seconds. No idea what that is. I'm going to try it out and we'll see what the fuck a skeep is. It's sheep, but with a K instead of an H. Oh, yeah. Where did...
Do you mind actually teaing me?
Yeah, what you want?
Decaf Earl Grey with some honey in it. Maybe milk too. A little bit of milk too.
Milk and honey, decaf, Earl Grey.
Please and thank you.
Why does Picard need to specify hot?
2 ginger cookies.
I just realized that.
Sorry, what now?
Why would Picard ever need to specify hot? He always said it that. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. As opposed to what? Like, wouldn't the
Maybe
default for tea...
Cold Earl Grey.
I know, but like, wouldn't the... You would think that the shortcut, the default, if you just ask for Earl Grey tea or whatever, that should just be like, okay, cool. I know that tea is hot unless you say iced tea or something, you know? Like, I don't know. Just seems... Yeah, this is semantics, but whatever. Where's Al? I don't see
All right,
him.
are we murdering some snake bitches?
Yes. Back this way. But we can probably get that chest first. It looks like it's right here.
Okay.
We go up here? Yeah. Ooh. Hello. Dave, you coming?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm just figuring out my inventory. I accidentally switched my spells, and now I can't find the one that I had before. But I hate it when that happens.
Okay. I just saw... I don't know what you see, Al,
My
but...
sniper rifle is still good.
Oh, you got a sniper rifle? I see a blue great axe of the butcher. Let's see how great...
Nice.
See if it's better than my great sword. It is. No.
Oh, neat.
Oh.
Check out my new sword.
Let's see.
This.
What? What? Wait, what? What? You have a projectile? You have a projectile and it's a what?
That's a sword.
Is it a bat? Wait, do that again.
Sword.
No, shoot higher into the sky. There we go. It's 3 bats. You're shooting 3 bats out of your sword. What
I'm really excited
the
about it.
fuck? That is so cool. Did you get the treasure, Dave?
I did.
Okay. What is that a legendary that you got that did that?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
It is a Fate Breaker of Cleaving.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What's on top of here? Nope,
3
nothing.
lightning projectiles.
Where's it want us to go? Yeah, this is really neat. It looks like this way? Yeah, right there. In there. Let's go. Push, push, push. Oh, that's not even the main guy. Oh, shit. That's the main guy. Okay, I'm going in. Ooh. Ooh, it hurts. Ooh, it hurts. Hey, I'm still alive. Ah. Oh, sneaky bit. Gotcha.
Your ability to collect items is unparalleled. Oh no, that other word. Unremarkable. Now, back to the ice.
Okay. Did I miss anything
Wow,
here?
this gun is fun.
Oh, new gun as well? Nice.
Hey guys. Eastley, that is enough.
Get me. Here.
Enough.
Boom.
Hey, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick, Beastly. That is enough. Hey. Stop that. Stop. God, he's such a belligerent fuck these days.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, jerk ass motherfucker.
He's getting me. Is he getting me?
Hey, stop. Stop that. Stop. No. You don't need to bark every time you hear something. Stop it. Stop it. I mean it. Oh my god, dog. I'm gonna freaking kill you. Baby Mimic, where'd you come from?
Whoa. What?
I smashed a barrel and there was a baby Mimic in it.
Aw. Awesome.
They had a skin out of that. Or something. Cosmetical. Oh, a head accessory.
Oh, I like the sparkly water.
Thank you.
Perfect. For like 7
Cool.
He's a dick. Don't make yourself stay if you don't want to. You should be fine. Which way? This way?
Oh, yeah, we gotta get back to the chamber. Yep. Where's the door? Door's over here. Reload. Reload. Switching through all my weapons and reloading them. I forget they don't automatically. Oh.
Place the standards so they interrupt the
Okay.
primary ley lines, feeding the ice tunes enchantment.
Everybody here? Yeah.
Here?
The ice is primed. Now shatter it and freeze. And this is Mr.
There we go. Is good or bad? Good or bad? Good or bad? What are we doing, girl? Okay, he's gonna take off.
Form will now begin reconstituting in the throne room. Next, we must free her mind. I have tracked it to the shrine of the goddesses. So go there. Now.
I knew it. Oh.
And I join you, but I've got like a lot going on right now. You know, monsters. Slaying monsters, collecting reagents, bedding women, slaying more monsters. You get it.
Oh yeah, he is the Witcher. Oh, we got a new fight out here. Okay. Okay. There we go. Fuck. One more. No, one more. Cool. Alright, where does it want us to go? Whee! I like the traversal. Come on, reload. Oh, I do miss my magic missile.
Oh, badass.
Mark it? Okay, I see. Come on, take it. Pop. Oh, shit. Come on.
Oh, I'm up.
Okay.
You didn't think I was empty, did you?
What dropped? Anything good? No good drops. Alright. Alright. That's funny. We're going back to the section we just came from.
Running in circles.
Well, no, we were just going further out when we were exploring. Now it's actually asking us to go there.
There.
What are we fighting? I hear battle music. You guys engaged?
Burns.
Battle, I have not.
Oh, did you shoot a wyvern? We do it? I don't seem to be aggroed. Oh, okay. Here we are. Ooh. Well, they don't have a good weapon for this. Ow, don't do that.
I've seen where you're headed. I don't envy you.
Are they all gone?
I think so.
Like it.
Oh, our sniper. Nice.
That's me.
Okay, straight ahead. Sharks. Dogfish. Let's go. Tango. Oh, that was underwhelming. Damn it.
Yep. It's over here. Oh, there's a chest here.
Oh, okay. Coming.
Got all the magic I need.
Coming. Oh, okay.
Oh, out there.
Oop.
It's kind of crap, though.
Just around the corner there, Dave. We'll wait for you. You gotta talk to the curator so we can wait.
I gotta talk to the curator of my pipe.
I have just my vape left at the moment.
I left my bong downstairs. Guess I'm screwed.
All right.
Going in?
Oh, jeez, Dave's back. Okay, yep. Oh,
I
yep.
wish to enter. All are welcome.
Oh, I like her colors.
Please follow me.
She got glasses on?
It looks like it.
Huh?
There's a prophecy which foretells the return of Citizen.
I picked up a scroll.
Good.
What should become of the coiled if it were ever to come true? I pray that I do not live to see such a dark day.
Okay. Yep.
Finally. The prophecy says your next task is taking a leap of faith into the darkness. Even you couldn't mess that up, right?
Ooh, well, first I'm gonna chest. Nothing. Whee. Interesting. It's almost like the Ark of the Covenant.
It was
Oh,
dive.
yeah. Your turn, Al. Whoop.
Where are ya? Over there? Okay.
Yeah. And big rolls.
Nope.
Money. Money's good. Anything behind the waterfall? No.
Nope.
You know, you gotta check. Oh yeah, what about this other side? Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
This waterfall? Nope.
And nada.
Okay. We're thorough. We're damn thorough. Where are we going?
I'm jumping in the hole.
Oh yeah, the hole.
Oh, it's sparkly.
Oh ho 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 ho.
Congratulations. You didn't mess that up. Although I would have landed more gracefully. Now you must find the elemental crystals, which are the keys to our
Okay.
Basilisk's mind prison.
Oh,
Obviously. Don't make me repeat myself.
I don't know how to get there, but I see a thing there.
Look, as much as I just adore holding your hand through all of this. I've got beautiful women to sleep with and jealous husbands to avoid. Just follow the sight and feel.
Ooh, I like the sparkle beyond the black.
It is forbidden to slip
Come on, how do I get up?
this twisted realm, but my
Oh, come on.
curiosity overcame my judgment.
Nope.
It is as the histories tell, a warped and unholy pocket of reality, forged by the sheer power of the first viziers during the shattering ritual.
Oh, how'd you get up there?
in Celis's mind.
Climb up the
I
box.
jumped on the thingy.
Oh, I didn't see that thingy. Okay.
Hey, I got to the die.
Okay. I'll be right there.
Where's the die?
It's on the other side.
Oh, there you are. I love you.
Oh, up there. Okay.
Ah, dang it, I missed the jump.
Okay. That was alright. Oh, wow. That was,
And
that was-
get there. Hold on. Stay where it is so I know where it is.
okay. Yeah, from there.
You. Oh no! Oh fuck!
Oops.
God damn it.
Oh, there's candles on the ceiling. Burning upside down. Ooh, I wonder if things are going to get reversed now.
Ooh, I wonder.
I believe in
Here, I
you.
can get there, right?
Yeah, that's where I jumped.
What was that delight?
Oh yeah, I did it! Okay.
Yay.
It's just some rule would have doomed the world without
Cool.
my help. Oh, you're right. I am pretty heroic.
Looks like we got to find crystals. Let's go find the crystals.
I got 2 of them so far.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there's number 3.
Oh,
Okay.
according to the prophecy, the fire crystal has gone missing.
You have no idea what doom you herald.
Standing on the spear on one of these things.
Death to the world. Should you
Oh, I see a jump pad. Oh, neat. Whoa! Whoa! That was fun.
crystal with my
Okay.
life?
Whatever, kill her.
Oh, is this a fight? Where is she?
It's okay.
Oh, shit. Oh, I see. Whee! Oh. Boop, 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 boop. Stay in the corner while we lay unholy hell at your feet. Boop. Yep. Got it.
It's time to deactivate the locks up above. That is if you can
Boom.
When you get back.
Whoa. What the hell is this? Oh, I see. Yeah. When you guys are done, I guess come through here.
Okay.
Whoop.
Oh, that boss thing didn't really drop any loot. Weird.
as much as it pains
Oh, she just dropped the thing that we were after. I picked it up. But yeah, no loot. Boop, 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 boop.
Think you're doing?
Oh,
Don't you place one more crystal?
whoops. No. I didn't want to go that way.
Oh, my real mom,
What
snake lady.
insanity is possessing you? What have you done?
The right stuff. Good things. Good
One can
things.
only hope.
Where is she? Oh, there she is.
Salissa's mind has taken control of that librarian or whatever. That's a shame. See if she's, Salissa now.
Yo.
Curator? What disgusting body are we in? Regardless, it's absolutely hilarious that
Okay.
you're attempting to bring us back. Love that for us.
Yay.
Anyway, catch us if you can.
Okay.
Better not let this body die. She seems so innocent. But we've got places to be.
Okay.
Don't let her out of your sight.
Okay.
Prophecy says she must reach the point of ascension.
Escort. Which way are we going around? Okay.
Oh no, please help us. We're so weak.
Wow,
What?
Never been weak before. But you must know all about it.
Okay. Fight. Fight.
No. Trapped in my own mind. Celissa controlling my body.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Nope.
You must stop this or
Nope.
else she'll...
Salissa's on our side.
Please, Celissa. I'm begging you.
No. Oh. Wait. Hey. Come on. And you done. Whee. Okay. Easy.
This is pretty messed up right here.
I would rather be copulating on a unicorn if I'm being honest.
Wouldn't? Don't we all? Oh, I guess it depends on what part of the unicorn.
With the unicorn, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a running thing in The Witcher. Yennefer has a stuffed unicorn that they break having vigorous sex.
What'd you get?
Nothing. I didn't see the number, but it must have been very good.
Wait, who rolled that? Okay.
Pretty sure it was my
Yeah,
turn.
it's Elle's turn.
Thanks
Next.
again for your
Oh,
help,
okay.
idiot
I thought Elle got the last one.
Yeah, maybe I did.
No,
Sorry.
I did.
Wait, really? No.
I can't remember.
Done with this body.
Yeah, what are we doing?
See you again soon.
Okay. Love it. Love that for you. Boop.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
It would have been fine if you hadn't doomed us all. So that one's really on you. See that? Salissa's power is returning. But there is one more task before we can fully resurrect her. We must now...
Is that why it's all doomy out here?
into one.
Or gloomy?
Legendary weapon, Tide Sorrow.
Ooh.
Biden.
Yes, like a trident, but two.
Let's go.
Let your magical sight lead the way to the labyrinth of no escape and also endless hope.
Okay.
The history of the labyrinth is lengthy and impressive. It is said that in order to retrieve the key to endless
Oh, that's my skeep. Oh.
I was playtesting my campaign, and in this part of the quest, I had players shoot the sun to get the labyrinth key, but it just wasn't working because nobody thought to look up. But then I got sleepy and I forgot to replace the task.
Well, what the hell are we supposed to do now?
Hey, baby, it's cool. It's all good. I can think on my feet. Just get to the labyrinth of no escape and also endless torment. And stop asking questions.
Can do.
Okay. Oh. We got...
Hey, I leveled.
Oh, nice. Wait, what level?
35.
35. Okay. Oh, wow. You're behind me by a bit. And Al, aren't you like level 36? Are you close to?
Not yet.
Oh.
No, I'm, I think, a third away.
I'm about 40% of the way to level 36. Interesting. Hold up a sec, wait for Dave.
Oh. Alright, I forgot he was leveling.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wait a sec.
I can go in here? Oh, I can go in here. Hello. Okay. Not bad, not
Get
bad.
up there.
Oh, jumped up onto the balcony.
Oh.
Yeah, you went the right way. Whoop, wing. You. Yeah.
Garbage.
Alright, there he goes.
Alright. I don't see. Oh, actually, you should go up and get the treasure up there. Al, can you?
Treasure.
Yeah. Just go into the hut up in the hut. Yeah, you went the right way. I don't know where. Yeah, unless you can find another way up. Oh, you did.
Sure did.
Just
Yes. Oh, I see. It's marked. Looks like.
Hello.
Oh yeah, we're headed over there.
I see. Ooh, hello.
Oh, what'd you find?
Wyverns.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I shall wait for them to get closer.
Coming.
I think I'm hitting them. Okay. Miss, miss, miss. There we go.
How close do you have to be in order to hit them?
Oh, just none of my weapons are great for long range combat. That's all. I just gotta get up. Even my rocket launchers is an arc,
I see.
and arcing weapons are a little. Ah. Ooh. I think we got it. Everything explodes.
Oh no. Inventorium is full.
Really?
Well, that was quick. Now, to open the door, you must recite the following exactly.
That was pretty well timed.
Autonomius Baradadum Nictorium.
Yeah. Oh, who wants to do it? You want to do it, Al?
Sure, I'll click the button. I'm just packing a bowl, so
Yeah.
give me 2 seconds. There we go. I'm gonna click a button.
It's about whose character gets to do the voice. There we go.
That was terrible. You definitely summoned the guardians within, who will definitely kill you. Nice one. If by some miracle you survive, find the Bident.
So the long-lost keystone was like 10 feet away, and all we had to do was recite some gibberish nonsense words?
Shut up, Valentine.
Huff.
Have power, you big dumb idiot moron.
Ouch. Yeah, I guess they do.
Oh, you coming, Dave?
Nope. I was just clearing out my inventory so I could have
Oh, okay. I'll wait
grab
for you
this
then.
thing here because it was a cosmetic, so I didn't want to leave it.
Now only known as the Heart Phage,
Ooh, it's
the
a banner.
goddesses imprisoned her within the
Okay, where are you?
labyrinth as punishment for supporting Celeste.
We're inside the place? Just inside the door?
Now she is
Over here?
forced to guard the Bident, tide sorrow, and to thirst for all eternity.
More cosmetics. Yeah, don't forget to clear them in your inventory, though.
Yep.
Pop them.
There's a big axe that comes down. This is a trap. Be careful.
Okay.
You're a trap.
Don't hit the button.
yes, yes.
Your mom's a trap.
It's mean.
If Dave went last, it's your turn now.
Thirsty lady, aren't we?
Maybe perhaps, Tomodachi. Now,
For so long.
Dan. Hey.
Uncountable years have I been
Okay.
bound to this place for my sins.
Whee.
Yet never dead.
Huh.
Spooky shivers.
Ever dying, never dead.
Okay, sorry. Jeez, just trying to.
Good combo.
Oh, yes.
Trap. No, not gonna hit it. Ah! I hit it anyway. I'm killing the monsters.
I found it. Pearl or whatever the fuck they are. Marble.
Marble? Okay.
Oh, it's a cosmetic that I already knowed.
Okay, I want to... Can you mark it? Because she'll probably go get it. Where are you? Oh, I see. I thought this was the alternate path.
Where are you? How did you get over there?
Oh, I just jumped across.
Oh, okay, I see.
There's a trap there, too. Careful.
Guess that was it.
Oh. So then this is the correct path, the one I was going. All right. There's a trap here, too. It seems to be... Ah! Damn it. Still got hit.
Ooh, there's a big chest over here.
Yeah, but there's a...
Oh, God. There's a...
But you gotta wait. You gotta wait.
I did. I just timed it wrong.
Whee!
God damn it.
God damn it. Oh, I died.
Okay, that's fun. Got it.
Sick.
Oh, aha. Hey. Oh, I like how there's a skeleton embedded in these things. Ah, crazy. Anything else over here?
You can get around the wind trap by jumping from the thing over here.
From the stone? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You gonna try that, Dave?
Well, how did you do it?
Over off the stone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just jump over it. You got it.
Not a bunch of garbage. Oh wait, that's not garbage.
Let's see. More freezing. No. No. I got some good weapons. Sorry, are you guys waiting on me? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Alright,
I'm kidding.
let's go. Badass assassin! You've been assassinated. Oh, there's still more up here? Okay. Alright.
What a badass over there.
Okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just behind you. Ooh. I see gold. And it's a spell. Jacketed inflammation? What? Jacketed...
That's what I call my dick.
Jacketed inflammation. It's not the heat, it's the low flesh melting point. Seven charges? Okay. Let's try it. What do you... Oh, I see. Oh. Does it just go as long as I hold it? Wait, was that just...
That's amazing.
I have a flamethrower. I am a flamethrower.
Beautiful.
Okay, okay. So it's just a little bit for each one. Okay, I see. All right. I got burning hands. That's it.
That's exciting.
Anything?
This looks like a jump.
Huh? A jump? Oh, boss drop? Yeah. For the boss drop. All right, let's do it.
Time for a bus drop.
Time for a bus drop.
Smoke one thing.
Okay.
All right, I got it in me. We can do this.
You survived. Actually shocked, but all right. Grab the bident.
The bidet?
I have waited so long.
Hey.
Sounds like the ancient demon fiend and queen of Atlantis, the Heart Fade.
I'm sorry, the what?
Heart of Age. That's a good name.
Oh, yep.
Something that... Oh, shit. Here she is. Okay. That was fun.
By the way.
Shut up. Just take the bident.
We get... Oh, we still fighting something? Oh,
Not anymore.
Shadow guys.
By the
right.
way, very cursed.
Oh,
Sure, I
thing.
mentioned that. Anyway, I'll meet you back at Salissa's Eternal Wellspring. Don't delay.
Give me your ammo.
Now that Salissa's 3 aspects have been released, she will begin reconstituting within her primordial essence of creation.
Oh, machine.
Stores.
Bring the
Oh,
body
yeah.
to the location of the shattering ritual. It will resurrect her.
Amazing.
Fighting beside me, but hear me when I say this: do not get in my way.
We're going to have to fight him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't... No good. Good. No elemental damage. Ooh. Crap.
What did I get? I have a bunch of what are these things? Drop it.
Oh, cosmetics that you already know?
Cosmetics. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a type of spell people are looking for?
Not especially.
Okay. Just because I've seen
Not especially.
I have a
yeah,
variety
just
of
a bunch
them.
Stuff.
I picked up a variety, and they all look pretty good, but they're not my cup of tea. All right.
I think I found a ring that would be good for Dave.
Oh.
I'm gonna drop it.
Oh, shit. I just accidentally bought something that I didn't mean to. Fuck.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that was a shitload of money. That was so frustrating.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
This is an enchanted for berserker spell. Do you want to see? Here,
Well, this
see if
might be
that's good for
okay. Though.
you.
It's a crazy giant fireball, so maybe it'll be worthwhile. Okay, what am I
Enchanted
looking at?
Berserker after fail surge ends. Oh,
The gold ring on the ground, Dave.
yeah. Any cosmics? No. Interesting spell.
Okay, what's that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I realize we're starting to see extra, like
yeah.
class specific stuff come up now.
Yeah, that's the
With
first
it.
time I've really seen that.
I'll give it a try.
And I just got this flamethrower. Do you want the flamethrower? Do you want to try it?
Sure.
There. You take that and I'll use this furious cloudburst arcing something. There you go. It's really cool. Let's see. What's this new one?
Oh, neat.
Oh, is this a charge? Alright, it's charged. Okay.
Oof.
I'll try it. That was and that's one of 4 charges. Yeah, so when you're using it, the 7 charges is like 7 seconds or so of use. So if you just do a little bit, it only uses 1 charge kind of thing. You hold it down.
I see. I see what you mean.
It takes a while for it to fully charge, but you'll
Yeah.
slowly. But you can still use it even if it just charges 1, right? Anyway. Oh, hey, there's a die up there, and it's my turn. I shall. Ooh, 7. All right. Well, that's money. Okay, time to sell my shit. Was there? Oh, I'll take a look in the machine. Maybe there's something. Enchanted Spore Warden. Oh, there's a. Oh, you already have a really awesome sword. There's a Mountaineering Greatsword of Cleaving that has got some Spore Warden extras, but you, I think, are well.
No, I'm gonna keep my sword.
You're well equipped.
Pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still checking. Okay. All right, nothing. Nothing of worth of for any of us in my version of the machine. So
just real quick,
Yar.
Dave, there is a piece of armor in this machine called the Ghostlight's Warped Paradigm of the Rock Slide. It's a legendary, so it's a gold item.
What?
And
In the machine?
Yeah, and
Damn.
and it's got Graveborn power plus 22% and Spore Warden plus 11, but then it's got like plus 13% movement speed, plus 6.6 fire rate, plus 19.7 maximum or 19.7% maximum health.
Oh shit.
Spell damage and melee damage increased by 35% of your increased ability damage.
Oh.
And then it's got a +1, a +1, and a +3 on the things.
What is it? Is it armor or a necklace?
It's armor.
Oh, in that machine?
Mm-hmm.
That machine doesn't have armor.
This is armor.
This is so weird. Looks on my screen. It looks like you're facing the machine that only sells rings and spells and necklaces.
Yeah, that's what I'm in.
So how is it armor? Armor's in the other machine.
No, that's what this is.
Weird.
It's a piece of armor. Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Dave, do you want it?
I wonder if I can see it. Oh, that's the one I already bought the item of the day from. Bastard thing.
I don't see it on mine.
What's it do again?
So it's Graveborn power plus 22%. And then it's got a +1 to something with an arrow and a bullseye, a +1 to a skull, and a +3 to this little cat monster.
Huh.
And then it also says plus 13% movement speed, plus 6.6 fire rate, plus 19% maximum health, and spell damage and melee damage are increased by 35% of your increased ability damage.
Sure, that sounds useful.
Yeah, you want that?
Sure.
Okay, I'm buying it for you. It's very expensive. It's like $1 million, so here you go. I love you very much.
Okay. Try this on.
All right. Let's take a look Oh, I see. Oh, that's fun. So then... Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. The armor I was wearing before it was level 25. It was definitely a little outdated.
Oh, shit.
Well then, if nobody needs these guys, I'm gonna sell them.
Sure. Oh, yeah, I guess they are worth money, aren't they? Huh. Did you guys get the result of the die I rolled up there?
Oh, is that what that was from?
Oh, I didn't. Where was that? Over here.
Right here? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I should have... Oh, I have one thing in my backpack, and that's my old Calamity spell, because I just love Calamity so much. Might switch back if I don't like this spell, but we'll see.
Great.
Yeah. Plus, I'm still keeping on that necklace. So I think what it is the same thing as your ability, Dave, to turn something into a sheep. I think that's what my necklace does. If I'm reduced to half health, which happens a lot when I'm down in the trenches with the enemies,
Yeah.
doing my little spin attack, I easily get down to half health, and then boom, it'll just pop one of them into a sheep.
Okay. Neat.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. It's almost like I have like a little mini version of your ability. All right, we got to go this way when you're ready. Oh, I love the swirling darkness in the sky. Oh, wow. That's some good effects.
Right there. All right. They're killing things.
This way.
That's the way.
This way. I was looking up at the sky. Really pretty.
It is very pretty.
Swirling clouds and all that. I can't tell if it's a video effect or if it's a, pre-calculated render.
Hmm.
Yep. Oh, it's so quiet. Okay. Way. Oh yeah, I guess we're heading back to the main temple or whatever. There.
Yeah, because now she's got all of her different elements.
Yay! Oh, that is. Come on. The iron skin. Jeez.
One more dip.
Good fight.
You guys did all the work. I got here just at the end.
Huh? Oh. You gotta keep going around and up, I believe, right? Wait, let me double check the map. Yeah. Yeah. This way.
Ooh, there's stuff behind this waterfall. Oh no, it's just a door outside.
Oh, hey. I saw you. Oh. A little blue thing from that. It's worth it to destroy all of the little things. Oh, okay. Let's go. Ah! That was fun. Oh, was that my sheep? Nice.
Yep.
Holy shit. I just picked up something. I have to look right away because it's a legendary spell. Saw Blades of Invention. Wait, that sounds like a normal spell. Don't you have that spell already? One of you already has Saw Blades, right?
It's a gun.
What's a gun? Okay, hold on. Let me try this out.
There's a die over here.
Oh, what the fuck? I have bouncing saw blades. Okay. Al? Here.
Yeah.
Take this back. I am well equipped. Take it back for selling or whatever. I absolutely love this new saw blade thing. It's Dave's turn. And yeah, here, let me turn off the trap.
You on about? Oh.
Hold on. There, trap's off. Allie?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Or it's some bullshit.
Bullshit. Oh, why is it back on again? Here, I'll turn it off.
Here that way.
Oh, asshole. Okay. Ooh. Where are we going here? Okay. Yeah. We're just about there. We ready? Boom, boom, boom.
Took you long enough. But at least I had time to drink my potions and oil
Not
my
enough for me.
blades. Now we head to the rooftop, where the shattering ritual was performed.
Okay. Sure. Oh, I see. There's a thing.
Here I
Scroll.
stand, in the presence of Salissa's primordial essence. It
Whee!
feels quivering fear to stand anywhere near it.
Aw. I was hoping I could go back down and spring up again. Oh, this is Def a boss arena. Okay.
Some good can come out of
Don't place it until Al's up here.
Okay.
Yeah, please just wait 1 second.
I think that'll start the fight. Ooh, maybe don't even break these things until you need it. This is all ammo. Oops. Okay. So pretty. I like the waterfall. It sparkles.
I like the hovering rocks and the greenery. That's what my house looks like.
Okay. Shall I?
Yeah.
Hear me, wicked Salissa. It is I, the undefeated monster slayer, Garrett of Trivia. Hear my name well, or it will be the last thing you hear. I stand ready to prove to the world that even a goddess can bleed.
Okay. Probably want this one.
Wow, you're really as stupid as we'd hoped. Now die, fool!
I am your doom. I
Okay.
am your end. And when
Please
you
kill
are
him.
slain, all problems
Thank you.
That.
Squish.
Oh, and here we go. Okay. Ooh, wow. Ooh, spicy. Backing off. Ooh. Almost got me that time. Ooh, ooh. Left shark. That implies a right shark.
That's for making me
Ow. Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, yeah, the ground is lava. Lightning. Lightning lava.
Ow. God damn it.
Oh, you're going down? Shit. Come back. Going in.
Ah, down again.
As the evil goddess is once again shattered by your soup's mighty hand. Her bident, clanky clangs.
Yay.
You.
It's yours now.
Didn't he say it's cursed, though?
Yep, now it's your curse.
Oh, great.
Empowering falchion of spirit.
If you need it. Wait, are we really stuck with this cursed Biden thing? I don't like that.
Alright.
You can just sell it. That is keeping Celissa from getting all her big bad powers back and driving the world into
Not particularly.
Yeah.
Then you do you, baby. Now, descend to the eternal wellspring / to meet your adoring public.
I guess the rest is just ammo.
Let's hear it
Oh shit. Come through the portal.
Burtle. Whoa. Trippy.
Yeah, they're wearing your colors.
Yeah.
Still be in an unbridled fury, but some of us have been saved from that fate. Thanks to you. You have our gratitude.
Ooh. Ooh.
Level up.
That was a level up.
Nice.
So pretty. Hooray!
All right.
Okay, what am I doing here? I haven't looked at this in a bit.
Okay, so like there's this lady coiled in Sunfang Oasis who's trying to brew up a real special potion, but needs some help gathering the ingredients for it. Don't leave her hanging, girl. Go help.
Dexterity. There we go.
Coolio.
All right. Yay. Oh, these people, and they're wearing your colors.
Spectacular.
There's a bad guy? Oh, below us. I see. What's this? Wait, what?
Oh, there's a puzzle that we never got, apparently.
Yeah, maybe. Talk to Cardassin in Sunfang Oasis. Oh, that's still in here. Okay, so we're still...
it's a side quest that I picked up that was hanging up on the wall.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Did we finish this one? Just want to double check. I think we did, but...
Seems that way.
Yeah. That was the completion right there. Okay. Yeah, how do we feel? Keep going side quests?
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, because right now we're nearing, it says our main objective is basically nearing the end of our journey to defeat the Dragon Lord. So, yeah. Let's get the sides done. All right.
I like potatoes.
This way. You coming, Dave?
Smash.
Pop. Oh, it's so nice again. It's no longer cloudy.
Yeah.
Where are we going? This way? Yeah.
Had either of you seen that new Dune movie?
Dune? Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
Share a drink with me.
Yeah, I guess it's got a little bit of that deserty vibe.
Yeah, but what'd you think of
What
it?
does Cardassian want? For her mud soup.
I haven't seen it yet myself, so I can't say.
I have before.
They really lean heavily into like the Arabic and Bedouin and that sort of North African influence for Arrakis. Which makes sense. I mean, it's very clearly what Frank Herbert was drawing heavily from.
Horribly in love with me. Unrequited. Very sad. Do not ask her about it. Too painful to speak of.
Okay. Go to Loretta's shop. Okay. Ooh, down the slide. Wyverns. Fucking wrong weapon for that. Damn it. Fuck, even my new spell's an arc. Alright. Don't I have a machine gun? Let's go. There we go. Come on. Ooh, dead as I hit the ground. There we go. Back up. That was good. Oh. Behind you. Oh, Al's in a different fight. Let's go help. Right then. Looks like the shop is just up here. Oh, hello.
See the crab legs before you. They.
I steal them, obviously.
Who's Freddy?
We could just, you know, buy them.
Hello, Loretta. So do we buy or steal?
Fine. You never let me steal
I
anything.
paid.
Okay. I like these people.
Crab legs, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be nice to the snake people.
Needs them for a potion.
Oh, okay. Not for Cardassin, is it?
Hmm.
I really just can't stand her.
No.
Go right ahead, then. They're all yours. Loretta, I require crab legs right now. Sell me yours. They've already been sold, Karen. This is an outrage. I am entitled to what I want at all times.
Oh,
You
Karen.
took the
Right.
crab legs that were rightfully
Yeah.
mine. I'll kill you. Karen, how dare you tell me to calm down?
Well, that was fun. Everyone wants to kill Karen.
My least favorite customer. So sad. Undergo mourn. Hey, did Loretta mention me at all, or? You know what? Don't answer that. Find some crab legs. Should be close.
Oh, sure.
Apple, Tina.
Oh god, baby mimic.
You know what they are.
Never mind, it's dead.
Apples that taste like and when you cut them, they fall off in rings, and they make you think about the babes you wronged, and then you cry. Oh, you cry, and cry, and cry.
You mean onions?
I don't know what that word you said means.
It sounds like.
Silence, pregnant gallery! I hear you. Teach me something.
Pineapple it is.
Did we kill everyone? We did.
Think.
Wait, where's Al?
Oh, there's way more over there, though. Holy crap.
What?
Just keep going
Wyverns?
back. You're not
Oh, okay.
allowed to live here.
Wait, what are you shooting? The wyverns or no?
Yeah, they are wyverns. Sorry. I just didn't realize they were so far away.
Oh, okay.
Are they coming to us yet?
How about now? Oh. That dervish. It might be whirling. Come on. Another dervish. Okay, well, I'm going to go over there because I want to get some of that treasure too. How do I get over there? Oh, shit. Not by falling off into the chasm. accidentally. I fell right off the bridge. I don't even know
Bridge.
how. Yeah. Yeah, right behind.
Oh, I love it.
Nice. Again, nice. Oh,
Some idiots hiding their loot over there.
some idiots loot. You were right near me. Oh,
It's
yeah.
a game.
Yeah, the puzzle thing. Oh, and there's a bunch of loot dropped from the fucking creatures we killed, too. Wait for Dave to catch up. Did you already level up?
Nope.
Okay. Come grab this loot first, and then we'll protect you over here. Nothing's happening. Really nice.
God, you smell.
Feeling antsy. I better.
Ah, you yearn for the dark end. Yes, not long now. Not long now.
Oh, you're gonna start that? Alright. I thought you were gonna level up.
I'm not.
No, Dave started the puzzle.
Oh.
Without
Right.
leveling up, so I guess we're...
I leveled.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going after all the loot that was dropped. Boop. Oh, was that it?
Okay, what's the next one?
Oh, whatever. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall.
Oh, fuck, do I get back around?
I don't even know where I'm going anymore. Oh, I'm just going to follow the arrow. Get to the precipice. Okay, I see.
Fucking the puzzle end?
And when you're done the puzzle, I just marked the meetup spot. It's over here.
I think I ran out of time that time. Damn it.
Good, yeah.
Fuck, I was going fast too. It's a tough one.
Oh. While I wait, I'm gonna check out the things I got.
Can you guys hear the dog snoring?
Nope.
It's very loud.
Oh, we picked up that Bident thing as a weapon. I just realized. Tide Sorrow, Lament of the Seas. Buried deep beneath the waves. Applies lightning with a chance of lightning bolts.
Oh, fuck it.
Neat.
Oh, how do I get over there?
Ugh.
Oh my god, I'm so close. Fuck!
Yeah.
I was
Missed it
like
again.
a couple feet away from it. This is a tough one. It's probably some shortcut that I'm missing. Oh well, we'll figure it out eventually, maybe.
Oh, hey. And check out your outfit. Oh, cool. I just noticed, I didn't notice before, Al, you have like a bunch of gold rings, kind of like a...
Shit.
I don't know. Almost like a sash or a sling of, or a necklace of gold rings. I don't know. Looks really neat.
Neat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That's the new armor I put on. It wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
Huh.
Looks neat.
Neato.
Oh, I definitely fucked it up that time.
Alright. What we call it for now? It can be something that we come back to for achievement or whatever.
I guess.
I figure if we want to be thorough with it, we will probably at some point go through and try to get all the things we missed.
Say, oh wait, they're not hostile.
Hi, Cyclops.
There's a trick to plucking crying apples. Gotta disturb the surface soil. Then they'll pop out of the ground.
What? Oh.
Right.
What do we... Grounds... Oh, ground slam.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I see them all around. Whee! There we go. Oh. Go through two of you. Die, please. Thank you. Who is that? One right behind you. Oh, there we go. Fuck. Okay. Hell yeah.
Did we do it?
Ah. I mean, we did a bunch. Still got one more apple to find. I don't know. What are you doing, Dave?
Said the ground slam to find them.
No. Not like that. They're marked.
There'll be a glowing little...
Yeah. Yeah, it's right here. There. Got it. What?
What are you talking about?
They're brown, they're starchy. You mash them, put butter on them, shove them in your mouth. Taste delicious.
Oh, carrots. No, potatoes?
This how you want to die, Frank? You want to die talking some made-up words at me?
This is how she gets around not believing in vegetables, I believe.
Or that's just a better name for a vegetable. Ah, birds!
Damn it, birds. I don't know where... There you go. Right, I'm gonna melee you to death.
Hey, guys, that's enough. Hey,
Papa.
Come on. That's enough. Ah, where'd you come from?
No.
Guys, please stop. Hey. Dog faces. Hey! Stop.
That's for making
Lord.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey.
Whoa.
That's enough. That's enough. There isn't any noises for you. Good Lord. Sorry about the dogs.
Oh.
What dogs? I didn't hear anything.
Huh.
Come back. It is time for
Oops. Wrong gun.
Sleep, you goddamn monster.
I don't know why I did that to myself. Oops. Directing us to continue this way. Okay. Or Talagoon. Oh, I see. We've come full circle.
now. Add the ingredients. Good.
Up this way.
Like love itself. Must like your air. Just as we must defend our hearts.
There's a fucking wyvern right here. Wyvern.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm doing metaphors now. Mine was known as a storyteller.
Fuck off.
Ocean won't be ready until it reaches a board. Keep fighting them up.
Come here.
Longer to reach a boy. Don't let up now.
Come on. Wow. All right. Oh, hell. Yay. I think they're dead.
Sorry.
We did it.
Oh, wow. Bunch of treasure over here.
Well,
You have fallen for my trap. You are now in love with me.
Okay.
You're a talking snake woman.
I'm down.
Takes all kinds, I suppose.
It wasn't really a love potion, though, right? Just a nice gumbo?
Oh, you poor, poor, simple, stupid, dumb, idiot, baby brain, dumb head Valentine. The best way to someone's heart is through their tum-tums. That's why I keep shoving crumpets in Moxie's mailbox.
True dat.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I keep feeding everybody.
Pretty serious.
Yeah, you
Moxie
too,
and me,
Mabel.
I have to say.
Wait, so Tina's crushing on Moxie?
alrighty.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It put us back on the main quest. Let's go back to another side quest, yeah? Let's see. This one. Oh, what are we fighting? Oh, more wyverns?
There's just a bunch of birds.
It just never ends.
Okay. I'll take this time.
So, next quest is...
This way.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh. How far this way? We need to go. Oh, okay, cool. To one of the... We're going to go buy the machines, and then we're going to be right... We're going to be right near the, section that we hadn't explored. Oh, what's going on? Oh, why are you dying? I'm coming.
Hammerhead sharks attacking me. This is what happens when I don't attack everything in sight.
Alright. Woo! No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I stay on you till you die. Thank you. Alright, let's just kill these guys then. Okay. Oh, oh, behind me. Oh, damn. Okay. Wow.
I didn't do that on purpose. They all came at me.
Just double check. Yeah, we go ahead. Let's head back to the machines real quick, and then do that unknown section. Actually, that was right beside us. Boop, boop, boop. Little junk. Yep. Oh. Oh, we got an item. It's a shield called the Crying Apple of Healing. Doesn't really say what else it... Oh, wow. It's got a big capacity, though. It has a decent capacity. Oh, mine says 2200, which is pretty good.
Oh, I don't know if I picked that up. I don't see it.
You would have got... It would have been a shield you got as a quest item, so it would have just dropped in your inventory. You wouldn't have had to pick it up. Boom.
Oh, yeah, I sold it already because I already have a better one.
Oh, okay. This one.
Yeah.
There. Take some screenshots. Oh, I need a better shotgun. I'm on the hunt for a better shotgun.
Golden release to cast. Let's see how that looks. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm on the hunt for a new SMG. And a new sniper rifle, technically.
Oh, I
would love to use this opportunity to pee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Have fun.
I think I found a better shotgun in the
Tell me who to pee.
in the store here. A goading saga of murky depths. It apparently, after you reload it, the next melee hit causes a singularity that deals a bunch of damage. And I'm down for that. Ooh, better, worse. Okay. Oh, I hope it fires okay. Oh. Oh. Damn it. I can't create the singularity. No baddies. Oh, has it got a shield? Oh, it's like the Hyperion shit. Oh yeah, how's it long range? Okay. Ah. Let's try it from over here. I'm leaving bullet decals there. Interesting, this has a finite range. Now I'm hitting the wall. Now I'm not. Okay. So from myself to the statue is the range of my shotgun. That's good to know. It seemed to be falling off and not hitting the, and not creating decals. Which was the only way I could tell until I took a couple of steps forward. That could be the range of which decals are... Oh. Well, actually, there's one way to tell. Can I make a decal? Yeah. That works. Oops. Yeah, that doesn't go far at all. Holy shit. Ow. Ow. Sorry. I'm killing myself with my own weapons.
My mother was a demi-dragon, and my father was the shadow of an anti-ghost. I sprang forth from between them, fully grown a year and a day before I then studied a semester of theatre before taking a gap year and changing my focus. Then a bunch of other stuff happened, and here I am.
Where did that come from? Dave's character just suddenly...
Dude.
Yeah. Just gave his life story.
That's what I thought. You can't keep barking like a dog and being surprised when wolves appear.
Okay, are we ready?
Bonesy. Yep.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
You spy a poetry page.
Where?
We do.
Oh, yeah, right here. Bang.
Oh, wow.
Cyclops while drinking. I think we were both quite enamored.
For the rest of that poem, simply walk your little leggy legs to the tavern in Bright Hook.
Could you take a peek over here? Unless you're busy, which I completely understand.
Yeah, I'm busy. Checking behind waterfalls. Excuse me. Okay. Do it. Hit it.
Smash.
Yeah. Do it.
Smash.
Oh, wait.
So nice of you to stop by.
Oh.
I'm Sully.
Oh. It's not smash, it's talk. Oh.
Really didn't see this
Yeah.
one coming.
You've stopped this up proper, eh?
Well, I've got an odd and my research led me to believe the ancient corneal coronet is hidden in these ruins. But it all flooded and I got stuck trying to escape.
Doesn't look like I can break it down, which is my usual strategy.
As it happens, I've had quite a bit of time to think in here. If the water pressure built up behind me, I'd pop right out. Try those switches. There are some quite creepy things in here with me, so if you could hurry, you know, if it's not too much trouble.
Got it.
Wait.
Sure, you really done it. I can feel it starting to...
Endymion? Endymion?
No,
And what?
quickly. Oh, hey, guys. Fancy meeting you here.
Braxis?
Oh, bugger.
Yeah, gotcha, bud.
Apparently they're characters from Greek mythology. Oh, we're fighting them?
That makes sense. Yeah, you're killing them. Here comes the eyeball. Got it. Nice.
So who were those bastards?
Oh, well, the other sidewalks do bullet. On account of me being more into archaeology and less into murdering people. I hate bullies. You're just as good as gold, eh?
We got it.
Yes, that's it. Now quick, come give old Sully a tug.
Give Sully a tug. Oh.
Oh, right, that's much better then, isn't it?
It's got a spine.
I hesitate to body shame, but why don't you have one?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
no. I thought something didn't quite feel right. The rest of my body must have got separated earlier in the ruin. Should probably find that, eh?
Yeah, like these little physics stones. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Oh. What's this? Waterfall. Nothing. Okay. Oh, we're missing somebody.
I'm up here. Just wanted to see if there was a way to get up. It looked...
I bet that's the way back.
I see. That make a sense.
Okay. Got some nether fire going on. Ooh, ooh. I see Sully's body.
Boy, mate, that's my body.
Hey, bud. Oh. Okay, get in. Jump on in. Come on. You can do it. Oh. There we go.
Wow, I finally feel like I'm myself again. Anyways, I'm for sure stuck down here, so guess I didn't really think this one through, eh? Look, I don't want to put you out here. I already am.
Ooh, shit. Don't touch the water. Wow. Instant die. Whatever that shit is, not good.
Oh my gosh, it's working.
Yeah, there's more.
Oh shit.
Okay then. Oh fuck. Oh god. Okay, good. Jesus Christ.
Come on then, follow me. We can still find the corneal coronet.
All right.
How rare we talking?
Well, the corneal coronet historically belongs to the true ruler of all Cyclops. I suppose it is also made of pure gold and priceless jewels, but I'm not interested in all that, you know? Oh no! flowing in, or just give up and turn around, I guess. Either way.
Does he strike you as Kiwi?
Yes, he sounds like Korg from the Thor movies.
Usually it's just me, and I'm not very good company.
Shame the other Cyclops are terrible.
You're not wrong.
Oh, there's a chest up there.
We did it.
Oh, I see.
There's a dice right here.
I think it's Dave's turn.
Feels like a really necessary skill to have.
Over here?
Oh, fuck, I'm gonna die.
You died?
I died.
You'll be able to get back here.
Well, you can head on
I'm gonna go post up by the die.
I'm gonna stay here because I'm scared witless actually. So close to the biggest
Oh, I see.
find of my archaeological career though.
Just chill. Hey, it's
Where
me.
is the die?
It's me, Goober.
Down this way.
What time is it? Yes.
What o'clock?
Was it 9?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 9.
Okay.
1. Fuck. Okay. How do we
Relax.
get... Oh, I wonder if we come in from the other side somehow to get that chest. Almost looks like it.
Could be, could be.
Alright.
Yeah, how about over here though?
Oh no, I've triggered something.
Where are you, Al?
Found a way over to this chest.
Oh, I have no idea where that is. Okay.
Remember where the dice is?
Yeah.
Okay, then look to your left. Or sorry, to your right.
Okay. Gotta help Dave with all these sharks first. And the Archmage. Is that even hitting? Yeah. Okay, I'll go see that chest. Oh. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Connects to that one over there. I don't
Just jump across. I just jumped.
I don't want any of the stuff. It's all green.
I got a
Get
gold
back
thing
out of
off
this
of
pit.
it.
I can't
Nice.
figure it out.
Oh, that you fell down there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I found a way out. Maybe. At least part way.
What, over here?
Oh yeah, I found my way back up.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up all the treasure that's down here.
Another really awesome legendary Graveborn armor.
Legendary. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, where was this chesticle?
Look to the right.
Oh, I see.
Okay. I assume you gotta stop soon?
Pretty soon. I'm feeling pretty sick.
Okay.
Probably
Aw.
want to kill it soon. I'm sorry, folks.
You know. Getcha. Just up your energies.
Just keep in mind, I've been taking COVID tests every day, and I've done both the throat and the nose, and it's still negative. So there's that.
Oh, that's something at least.
Yeah.
I think we're about to finish this side quest.
One of the electricians that was in today was just like coughing his lungs out all morning. It was really irritating. He had a mask on the whole time, but still.
Yeah.
Come
Or
in if you like
something.
that.
Oh, there it is.
Scheduled my booster and my flu shot today.
Yeah, I got the message for that too.
I would have staggered mine. I'm getting my flu shot on the weekend, but apparently because I was recently infected,
Oh.
I should wait on the COVID. Oh, fuck.
Didn't get out of the way.
That was nice. It changed while I was in midair.
That was a close one, eh, mate?
You really should find that phylactery.
Gosh, we made it.
Okay.
Never thought we would. Oh, no.
Gosh, beastly, no. No, hey, stop that. Stop. Good lord.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Come on. Fucking badass. Cool. Oh. What we got? Oh, here. Have this crown, bud.
Wear this? But it's meant for the one true ruler of the Cyclops. I'm just... Sully.
The rest of them are awful and you're great. Start your own Cyclops crew.
Before today, I would never have even considered something like this, but you've really given me so much confidence in myself and who I am, I have to say.
Awesome.
I think I might just do it. Thank you, cuz.
Oh.
I think I have something in my eye.
Oh. I think you just leveled, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh shit. Wyverns are attacking.
The fuck?
I don't know, they just came out of nowhere. Where's my new fucking shotgun? Let's go. Here's my singularity. Okay, I see. Do that. Boom. Come on. Singularity. I like it. Doing it. All right. Nice. Nice. Okay.
Don't fuck around. Uh-oh.
Let's go back to Brighthoof.
Okay.
I like that plan.
And boop. Haha. Good work, team. Got a couple there. I think what
You guys are awesome.
2 or 3 side quests just knocked off like that. That was good. That was fun. There. Did you need to level up, or are you gonna?
No, I leveled up.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm really close to 37.
Yeah, I'm like 3/4 of the way there.
Yeah, I think I'm like 90%.
Nice.
But yeah, use the machines if you need to or whatever. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of cosmetic. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to go see what the cosmetics were I got.
Yeah, I gotta unlock them in my inventory first. Oh wow, I got a bunch. Looks like a bunch of. Hopefully, there's some good cosmetics for my character and not just a bunch of statue stuff. Okay, face decoration. A new color of tattoo. What?
I got a new hair color.
I got a mask so I could look like. It almost looks like the lower half of a mask from like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got one of those. Oh, I see. It's a new makeup color. It's for all of them. Okay. Okay.
I got a couple new skin colors.
Things are exciting around here lately.
Like color of your character's skin?
Yeah.
Huh. That's fun. Notes. Nope. Bunch of banner stuff. Ooh, what new materials? Granite, obsidian. Hell yeah. I'm purple. My statue is purple now. I'm cut obsidian. Fuck yeah.
I keep thinking out here the Queen's hooves behind me. Eyes wide and warm. Let's see every hour.
What do we got? I'm gonna drop some cosmetics that I already know you guys may not have. There we go. Let's drop them behind you guys.
I think I already have. Oh, there's one there I didn't have. Warrior's beard. So it's just a beard with no mustache, but it has a braid. Interesting.
Just like 10 fingers, 4 wings, and 2 perfect heads.
My marbles are out there waiting to be recollected. Please find them.
What will my ginger ale masses? It's only a trap. Clear me a spot in the stable's good hay for tonight.
Please, shut up.
Refined palate. I know just the poem for you. Tom the Troll was a rock.
That was funny. Just for some passerby, I was like, "Oh, the queen gone. What will I do now? Worship the elder gods? They're a hot mess if I ever saw one."
Look at my new skin.
Oh, okay. Coming.
Whoa. That's trippy as fuck.
Oh. Oh, cool. What the fuck are you made of? What are you made of?
I got 3 skins that seem to be kind of like crystally looking. This one's the blue.
Yeah.
There's also an icy one and a red looking one. Here, look, watch this.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Where are the skin color? So
I think when you're in the machine and try them on, I'll see them. Let's see.
can you see that?
No, I haven't seen a switch to it yet. Did you select it?
Yeah.
Okay, then you have to exit then. Oh, wow. Okay. Almost like a ruby version of that. That's cool. It's like you're an Earth Genasi.
Yeah. And then
Made out
there's
of crystal.
one. Where did it go? This one.
Oh, not gonna lie, kind of jealous.
Right? I wish I could give you that one.
So sparkly. That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
What was the original color again? Did you have?
I'm going back to it. Hold on a second. Yeah.
And when we hit level 40, you're gonna get new pictures. Hopefully, you got that. Oh yeah. Nice. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Neat. Very neat. All right, I'm gonna log off, folks. I love you very much.
Hey, love you. Have a good night.
I'll talk to you super duper soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm busy on Friday for going to a D&D podcast that Five and I have tickets for like a year now or something.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Have fun at NetPod.
NetPod, yeah. Thank you. I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Just taking out the entire back of the bar.
Yeah, I want to see what's breakable.
Oh, yeah. Surprisingly a lot.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that. It's funny, that lady who says the line about the who should I worship now, the elder gods, that sounds exactly like Marisha Ray from Critical Role, but it's not.
Really?
I checked the credits, she's not in this one. But it just the way the just I don't know, cadence or something about it, just the voice just sounds bang on. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Okay, I'm set. All right, I'm gonna exit.
All right.
Have a good night. Well, I guess I'll see you outside of the game. Bye.
Probably. Sure.
Sure. There we go. Disconnect. I guess I can't exit Discord that way. All right. Since they're gone, I got these things. I wanted to just check a few things. So, got all these things here. I think that was in the forest. See, it doesn't tell you. I don't like that. It doesn't tell you what area you need to be. Well, this one says enter a place, but oh wait, sort. Ah, okay, I can sort by region. Okay. Okay. It's because it's not the default, or maybe I switched it and I never realized it. This is way easier to look at. Oh my goodness. So we got 2 in that area, 3 on the overworld. We can go back to Karnak's Wall, back to Crackmask Cove. Cool. You can just pretty much go 1, 2, 3, and then do 1, 2, 3. I think that'll be a good plan for next time. Damn. Well, LB. Oh, we should have gotten. Maybe I'll look up. No, I don't want to look up anything. I don't want to look up anything for this game. I just wish we had some of those other shrines unlocked. Maybe when we're doing these, we'll get more of those runes because we just passed it over and didn't do them. I think we have quite a few for these. All right. And skills. So I put a point into this and I wasn't really thinking. I should have put into that. That's the one. Damn it. Okay, I got to remember the bullet one is the one that I need to max out. Because that's going to keep increasing all my damage across the board. I already did this one to the max. I don't care about that. Gains increased while moving. Right, I'm always moving. I'm trying to always be moving, so I get bonus damage from that. It's not a lot. But here, this is what's coming out. I'm going to get this in a couple more points. So are these singular? No, they have ranked. All right. Whenever the Fate Maker deals melee damage, their fire rate and spell damage are increased for a duration. It's not bad. It's not necessary. And this one, Fate Maker's next melee attack is guaranteed critical hit for a short duration. Well, hell yes. Yes. 100% this. Shadow Step, 2 more points in the tree to unlock. And then another point to go up. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. Then I'll keep pumping into this one. Right? Yeah. Until I put enough points in to get one of these. Critical hit damage. Yes. Evade. Don't care. Status effect. Don't care. So I'll be focused on this. So boom, boom. Those 3. Cool. Level 36. I'll make sure my points are synced up here. 991410. Yeah. All right. Sabo Mancer power is not very good. That's all right. Okay. Progress. Cool. Okay.
Soul for a sweet loot with 15 strings. Just need to trade for some fingers to play it.
Just get away from that. Boom. Actually, do it like this. Boom. Sure. All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. The VOD for this is going to be up in a week over on the YouTube channel, and yeah, we generally play these on Mondays and Wednesdays, or whenever we can, but usually Mondays. And yeah, until next week, hope you have a fantastic time. I don't have anybody to raid, so let's go out there. Good night.